We're here to take a look at the iPhone 14 Pro and the iPhone 14 Pro Max, and they promise the biggest upgrades in years. We're talking about an always-on display for the first time in an iPhone, a 48 megapixel camera, which is another first, and a replacement for the notch, which is called Dynamic Island. Let's go take our first look. So with the Dynamic Island on the iPhone 14 Pro and the Pro Max, you're basically changing how you interact with the iPhone. Like, a lot of people wanted to know what was happening to the notch, and this is it. It's not just like changing the location of where the notch was. It's changing how you interact with the iPhone itself. So you can see here, you can change music. This area changes dynamically, so if we minimize it, you can see it like it's up here. But if you go into another app, you'll see that it's still playing. And if you wanted to, let's say, start a timer, you can have two basically animations going at the same time. The iPhone 14 Pro and the Pro Max have a very bright display at 1600 nits. It goes up to 2000 nits when you're outdoors, but it's also very low power. It goes down to 1 hertz, and that's why they can do something like always on display. And that's what we're seeing here. And this is not just like some black and white version that you see on an Android phone. It's a full color display, and you can see things like your notifications and widgets all on the always on display. So the idea is you can see at a glance what your notifications are and other things without having to even lift up your phone or interact with it, which saves on battery life. So what you can see here is that I have the iPhone 13 Pro Max and the 14 Pro Max side by side, just to give you a sense of the lens size. So they're definitely bigger than before. You have a 48 megapixel camera, main camera over here using quad pixels, so you're getting 4 times as much information as before, which is a big leap in terms of resolution. And it uses pixel binning technology, so you can combine all that information into one. If you're an image, thanks to the A16 Bionic processor, you can actually drag and drop that using layer detection into an outgoing message. So you can see that the background has been completely removed, which is usually something that people needed photo editing software for. One other thing that the iPhone 14 Pro and the Pro Max give you is an additional zoom level. So before you had 1x or 3x, now you have 2x, and this is thanks in part to the 48 megapixel sensor. So you have basically more shooting options and more flexibility when it comes to photography. When it comes to video, the iPhone 14 Pro and the Pro Max offer cinematic mode just like before, but now you get up to 4K resolution. The iPhone 14 Pro has an action mode, and the idea is that it stabilizes your video. So running up the side of a mountain here, not only is this crystal clear, it's just like super smooth. And the iPhone 13 Pro was already good, so this could be one of the best video recording phones on the market. The display itself is amazing. Overall, I think the iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max have a lot of potential, especially in terms of the cameras and what you can do with that 48 megapixel sensor. I'm also excited to see that they just haven't replaced the notch, but it allows you to do more with your iPhone with that Dynamic Island. I think people are going to be addicted to that, and developers are going to take advantage as well. Stay tuned for our full review of the iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max, and make sure to follow us at Tom's Guide on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. For Tom's Guide, this is Mark Spoonhour.